Hey guys, my name is Maddie. Welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys all the books that I read in August and my thoughts on them. I know I'm posting this wrap up quite late, but I've just been behind schedule a little bit, so please ignore that this is like a bit into September. In future it won't be, but yeah. This month I read about 8 books and I'm really excited about that number because that number I think is really good, because normally I read about 4 books a month around because I have to balance school as well as reading. So 8 books when I'm not going to school is good. That's double, which I'm proud of. Still not my most read books in a month. My most read books was 12 and I read 12 in February because I read the whole astronomy series and a lot of novellas, so I guess it was still around 8 if you're counting proper books, but it's 12. So I'm really proud of this number. I'm really happy with this month, and yeah. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff, and let me know down below your thoughts on these books if you've read them and if you agree with what I think or if you completely disagree, because everyone's opinions are valid, you know. But yeah, without further ado, let's get on with the wrap up. Okay, so the first book that I read this month was on Kindle. It was Behind the Net by Stephanie Archer. I rated this book a 5 stars. I loved it so much. It was so cute and it was so easy to read. I binged it like really quickly and I loved it so much. It was just so cute and a great palette cleanser just between like a bunch of fantasy. I'd really recommend this book. It's on Kindle Unlimited if you want to go read it. It's such a good book. It's basically like a kind of like ice hockey romance, and basically it's about 2 characters who knew each other back in high school and both had crushes on each other that they didn't know about. And basically he is a hockey player and she wants to be a singer, and he basically hires her as his assistant to look after his dog, and it kind of blooms from there. She's her assistant, he's the boss. You know, it's this whole thing where they knew each other back in high school and they both think they hate each other. Tell me that's not cute. If you want a good like blurb of the book and description of the book, I'll link the Goodreads links down below to each of these books so you can go check out what they actually say in the blurb, because my explaining skills are not good today. So the next book I read was The Wicked King by Holly Black. I rated this one a 5 stars as well. This book was really good. The plot was really good. Everything about this book was so good. I love the series so much. Like, all the books are 5 stars. It's a great trilogy. They're short, easy reads, and I read them really quickly. If you don't know what the series is about, I'll tell you about the first book because otherwise it'll be spoilers, obviously. It's about 2 sisters called Jude and Tyrion who are humans in the Feywild, and they basically just have to survive while everyone's hating on them for being human and mortal. So that's basically it. I'll again link it down below if you guys want to know the full description of the Cool Prince, but I'd really recommend this series. It is so good, and I love Carden. Then of course I read The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black, which is the 3rd and final book in the series, and I rated this one at 5 stars. This one is my favorite one in the series. The plot of this one is my favorite plot ever. Like, I love it to death, and I loved this one so much. Like, I read this I think in a day. Yeah, I read this one in a day. That's how good it was. Like, I loved this so much. I binged this. It's definitely my favorite one in the series. The plot is to die for. The characters are to die for. The ending is... I had a moment where I had to put the book down. I was like, what the actual hell just happened? What? Okay, whoa. But yeah, that just shows how good the book is, you know? It had me like, oh my god. Again, I'll link down below what The Cruel Prince is about if you want to go read what the series is about, but I'd highly recommend. Then I read The Lost Sisters, which is a novella in between the 1st and 2nd book in the Cruel Prince trilogy. I went back and read it. It's only like 50 pages and it's like a letter from Tyrion to Jude. I rated that one a 3.5 stars. Really not that much. That's all it's literally nothing, but Tyrion annoyed me. That is all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. She really annoyed me. Then I read Twin Crowns by Catherine Doyle and Catherine Webber. I rated this one a 4.5 stars. This book was so good. I read this really quickly. I fell in love with this book. Like, I loved it so much. And the plot is my favorite plot of all time. Basically, if you don't know what this book is about, it's about 2 twin sisters, Rose and Ren, who were basically royals, and they got separated at birth. Ren got brought up with the witches and like in this like coven. Rose was brought up as a princess who was taught to hate the witches, and basically Ren tries to come and take the crown while obviously Rose is the heir to the crown, and it's just twin crowns, both of them going for the crown. You feel me? Basically what Ren does is she goes and kidnaps Rose with the help of a friend, and she basically takes her place and pretends to be Rose in order to get the crown. That is my favorite plot of all time. Whenever anyone plays spy, or when they like pretend to be someone else, that is my favorite plot of all time. So as you can guess, I loved this book so much. If you want to go read this book, I just say go for it. This book is so good, and I also got a signed copy. So So I'm so glad that I loved this book because I got the signed one and I'm so happy. Like I've said before, if you want a full description, the link will be down below. Then I read Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I gave this one a 5-star. The plot of this book, this whole book was just amazing. The enemies to lovers, the angst, everything about this book, so good. And the author, I'm pretty sure, is like a book girly and like one of us in a way. The fact that she went on and wrote a book, she knows exactly what we want and she delivered. She really did. Oh. She delivered. This book is so good. The plot was amazing. The tension. I need the second one right now. The second one comes out next year in May. I'm not waiting that long. Are you joking? I need it right now. If you don't know what this book's about, it's set in a world where there are like ranks. There's the ordinaries who are like powerless, just humans, and there are the elites who have different abilities, and there's different level of elite. Basically all the ordinaries were banished long ago, and now if they are seen, they are killed by a guy who is called an enforcer who just goes to kill them. He's a prince. Basically there's a girl called Payton who is a human, a mortal, an ordinary in this world, and she poses as a psychic in order to not get killed, and it works. Obviously she's pretending to be a psychic, and basically she accidentally saves a prince of the kingdom of Ilya, and basically because of her act of heroism she's entered into these trials that take place every like few years. I'm pretty sure they are called the Purging Trials, and she's entered into these trials, which is basically a Hunger Games if you think about it, and basically the story goes from there. This book is so good. The romance in here is amazing. The whole plot, the whole book, absolutely amazing. I love this so much. It's unbelievable. This is definitely one of my top reads this year. Then I read Legendary by Stephanie Garber. I rated this one a 3.5 stars. It was good, but some points just got really boring and I didn't want to continue reading it, so that's why it's so low. If you don't know what the Caraval trilogy is about, it's about this kind of like circus, is that what you'd call it? Like that comes around every like year called Caraval, and it's basically magical and twisted, and one of the main rules is remember it's only a game, because it starts to kind of like trick you into thinking it's not a game. I don't know if that makes any sense, but whatever. There are these girls called Scarlett and Donatella who always dreamed of going to Caraval, and one day they end up going, and it just unrolls from there. It's like a big mystery game of romance, of love, and just, it's so good. The first book was really, really good. It was a 4-star, and this one was a 3.5 star. It's a good trilogy. It's a good trilogy, but not one of my favorites, you know? It doesn't stand out to me. But my favorite books of all time take place after this, but you don't have to read these to read them. Once a Broken Heart, The Bell Never After. Go read them. They are my favorite books of all time. You do not have to read these to read them. I read them first, and I'm going back and reading this trilogy just so I get some backstory, but you don't need it. You can completely go in without reading them, and I totally recommend doing so. And then finally, the last book I read this month was A Quarter Silver Flames by Sarah J Maas. I ended the month with a banger. This book was a 5 stars. I loved this book so much. Like, I binged this book so fast. It's unbelievable. I can't believe I'm now finished the ACTA series that's out for now. Like, that's unbelievable. I need an Azrael book. Can I just say that right now? I need an Azrael book, like, right now. He is my favorite. He has been since day one. I need an Azrael book right now. But onto this book. This book was so good. I love Cassian. I love Nesta. I just love this book so much. Like, oh my god, this book was so good. This is definitely my favorite in the whole series. And my old favorite used to be A Court of Wings and Ruin. This one is now my favorite. This one is definitely my favorite in the whole series so far. I love it so much. Do you know what ACTA is about? It's about a girl called Feyre Acheron who lives with her 2 sisters, Nesta and Elaine, who are all human, and she basically takes care of like her family. She's a huntress. She goes on hunts to, you know, feed her family, you know, and she accidentally kills a wolf who turns out to be a fae, and they live behind like this wall thing in like a village, and behind the, and like the other side of the wall is like the fae lands, and the fae are known to be these awful creatures, you know, who kill them literally on sight, and she just killed one of them, which kind of equivalents to treason. This high fae breaks into their house and basically says, right, you can either die here on the spot or you can come live out your days in the Feylands. And she obviously chooses to live her days out in the Feylands. She's not going to die by this beast thing. So she goes to the Feylands, and that's basically where the story goes. This series is so worth it. I get so many questions. Is the actual series worth it? Yes, it is. This series is so good. So yeah, that was all the books that I read in August and what I think of them. If you want any of the like blurbs and like more in depth of what they're about, I'll link the Goodreads links down below and you can go check the books out. But I definitely recommend reading most of these books. Like, I had a great month. This month I had a lot of 5 stars. Like, it was a great month. To be fair, I feel like I give out 5 stars a bit too early and like too frequently. So some of my 5 stars I wouldn't call 5 stars, but there's like a certain level of 5 star that's a 5 star. You feel me? That makes no sense. Oh my god. But yeah, let me know if you guys have read any of these books, what you think of these books, and yeah. Let me know if you also agree or disagree with my opinions on these books, and just let me know. Let me know. But yeah, that's going to be it for this reading wrap up. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know down below if you did, and yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff, and I'll see you guys in another video. Bye guys!